What quietly screams rich/wealthy? Have a friend who is moving to the Bay Area to work for a non-profit part-time. She didn't know what her salary would be. Not hesitating to eat in a restaurant with no prices on the menu. I cleaned huge houses for a living, and to me it was the custom-built Lego rooms with cabinets floor to ceiling full of organized Lego sets. Not knowing the price of everyday stuff like groceries or electricity. Friend of mine used to run a ridiculously exclusive cocktail bar. He always said the ones in the fancy clothes who look filthy rich are normally reasonably wealthy. The ones in jeans and t-shirts who look normal are normally filthy rich. Basically the truly rich people didn't see the place as anything out of the ordinary, so saw no reason to dress up. Paying for everyone's food/picking up the tab, when done in a passive and nonchalant way. Having a pool house. And letting guests stay there because it's a nice pool house. If you use money to get time instead of time to get money. Suspicious amounts of free time to pursue their interests, travel, or just be out and about. Spontaneity. Just talking about something or someplace and doing it or booking it there and then. Alan Clark, a British politician born into a wealthy family, once disparaged someone by describing them as the sort of person who bought all his own furniture. I know it's not a big thing, but people who use really nice plates and silver cutlery very casually. I've seen poor people with Mustangs. But I've never seen poor people eating with polished silver. I once did an experiment, and wrote about it for a now-defunct magazine, where I wanted to see how high on the exotic car ladder I could go before they told me I couldn't test drive one anymore. Before I get going, the answer to the question is confidence. This was in 2005, so kind of pre-tech days where everything was Googleable and whatnot. But, I was an ambitious writer in my mid-20s and wanted to really make an impression on my employer. I specifically didn't shave and my hair was a bit shaggy. I wore generic blue jeans and a plain no-logo polo shirt and a pair of slip-on Vans. I went for a clean, rich kid look. At the time I was driving a 1991 Toyota MR2, a small, clean sports car that was 14 years old but really well kept. I drove it to a Chevy dealership where I said I wanted to test drive a Corvette. They gave me a long runaround and a hard time, but after handing over my license for photocopying, getting my picture taken, and a credit card they let me take it for a drive telling me to be back within a few hours after I got the feel for the car. That was the first time I realized the more you pay for a car, the longer they let you drive it. I drove the Corvette directly to a Porsche dealership where I parked it and asked to drive a 911. We talked for a bit about the car, and after copying my license they handed me the keys and said to have fun, with no stipulation on time. I took the 911 to a nearby Ferrari dealer and was handed the keys to a Ferrari in minutes. I drove to the Lamborghini dealer down the street. I lived in Miami at the time, these places aren't too far apart, and made a big deal about going from a Ferrari to a Lambo but wanting to keep the Ferrari too, which apparently they didn't like the sound of, and I fucked up a rule I didn't really know about because I was trying to seem like I wanted a lot of cars and show off. I got too proud and blew it. They noticed the Ferrari had dealer plates and told me to get lost. So, I drove to a Rolls dealership nearby instead and drove a 300k Rolls-Royce with zero issues, and they had a big, buy it or not, we don't care, attitude, so I left and returned my Russian dolls of cars and got back to my dinky MR2. Being confident and not saying too much goes a lot way. Actually, rich people aren't trying to impress anyone or show off. They have confidence and know they can do whatever they want. It's ridiculous. I'm going to try to find the PDF of the article and add it to this comment tonight. Not bothering with refunds because it's not worth the hassle. Going somewhere pricey and not looking at the total before you pay. Edit, changed tots to total. Though tots is also correctly hilarious. What inspired your username? Apple bottom jeans. Me doing a push-up. I didn't know where my hat was. Mispronounced by my daughter. I don't get it. It's simple. A side character on an old Scooby-Doo episode. Accidentally said Stephen Hawking once instead of Stephen Hawking. I found it so funny that I unintentionally insulted one of the greatest minds in history for not being able to walk that I have since made it my entire personality. I did not want to get Reddit, but eventually did under protest. My first and last name together make a major holiday. I don't want to talk about it. Validation on register form. Woke up from a nap. Wanted to make a Reddit account. Used it once and then forgot it existed for a year. Never being called the correct name. My dad died when I was 10 months old and he was a DJ as a hobby. His name was Pace1, that's why I'm Pace2. Edit. I just woke up, I'm baffled at what to do reading all comments now. What movie would 10x better if you added dinosaurs? Tomb Raider, 2018. Aliens vs Predator vs Dinosaurs. Final Destination. Terminator. They made a miscalculation and sent him back 65 million years. Mad Max. Always felt like Casablanca was missing something. Ghostbusters. But it's ghost dinosaurs. Titanic. Imagine the legacy LMAO. Pride and Prejudice and zombies and dinosaurs. Not a movie, but adding dinosaurs to The Walking Dead would have made things more interesting. Paul Blart, Mall Cop. Cast Away. Sharknado. Water World. Jumanji.